And then, of course, there was like the big controversy with that young man who you believe is a big old cheater. That guy. I need to know, the anal beads thing, is that a legitimate theory?
So it actually started in one of my friend's streamer channel that like one random guy made a comment about anal beads, and he was like, yeah, maybe. And then I think it started taking the rounds in Reddit, and then Elon saw it, tweeted about it, and then obviously it blew up. I actually spoke to, I think it was Mark Andreessen who said like, that would be one way to do it.
Yes.
But I really, really, really don't believe that has happened. Like, I think it has no connection to reality, but it just became a thing of its own.
So unfortunately, this young man, we'll explain the anal beads thing, but this young man is a very talented player, but does have a history of some shenanigans, correct? And even admitted that he did a little bit of cheating in order to move his rating higher so he could play better players.
Yeah, I mean, he's not admitted to nearly the extent of his cheating, but if you sort of take what chess.com say, then yeah, he cheated a bunch online in a certain period of time, partly in tournaments, but mostly in casual games, as he just set himself to sort of get himself up the standings and play the best players in the world.
But he is a very good player.
I think he has become a very good player, yeah.
Interesting, okay. So what made you convinced that he was cheating in that particular game? And by what method do you think he could possibly have been doing this?
Could you hear something? Was it like, burnt? You're hearing vibrations?
You see his seat shift?
Yeah. You're smelling something? There's a whiff of something in the air?
Yeah, I mean, that would have been the smoking gun, I suppose. But I think there was a combination of things, though, based on the chess level that I thought that he had and that I'd seen from his game, both playing against him, analyzing a little with him, and looking at his other games. There were a lot of stories back then. The thing is also there's a Netflix documentary coming in a few months that sort of where I'm telling my side of the story. So I cannot go too deep into everything, but what I can say was that there were a lot of factors that made me very, very suspicious. And I think ever since then he has become better, but there's still something off, both then and now. But yeah.
That's so fascinating that as an elite chess player, you'd be able to recognize that something is happening that's outside of his capabilities.
I'm not ruling out the factor that chess players are becoming more and more paranoid, because we do have chess engines that basically have perfect chess, right? Like anybody with their phone can, as I think Elon tweeted to Gary once, like, my iPhone can beat you at chess, which is the truth. And this means that anybody having access to information, it's incredibly dangerous. And I think top level chess has been a lot based on trust. And whenever you have outsiders whom there are these stories about, everybody gets a bit jittery. There's like people who either like they burst onto the scene, then they establish themselves, and people know that they're legit and so on. It's not a problem with him specifically. I don't know. It's just he doesn't seem to be playing, or it didn't at that point seem to be playing with with a particular style. It seemed that he either played kind of or he just more or less played any position very well in certain games. Like he could just switch from tactical to positional play very easily, and yeah, it didn't smell good to me. It still doesn't, but to some extent, like he had his lawsuit. We've all kind of moved a little bit on. I think I don't trust him. A lot of other top players still don't trust him. He certainly doesn't trust me or chess.com or Hikaru or whomever he felt wronged by. But it's
the problem is, like, once someone admits that they cheated a game, especially a game that has a lot of trust in it like chess, you're always going to think, like, is he cheating now? Always. But the question is, like, what method? Like, what do people do? So if you're sitting there, you have no phone, your pockets are empty, like, what could you be doing that could possibly be aiding you?
Well, first of all, like an invisible earpiece that people use for exams and so on. Like,
but he would have to have a partner. With that,
yeah,
right?
he would, yeah.
Yeah.
That would not have been detected by the security system that they used at that tournament. They amped up the security after the whole thing happened.
Do they, like, check your ears?
Yeah, they start checking our ears, and then we had a live tournament in Paris last year where I played him, where there was proper security, where all of these things would be picked up, and he didn't play to nearly the same level there. So I think I'm not an expert in all of that, but that's what I've heard from people, that's like the most obvious thing that it could have that someone could have done, and it wouldn't be really that hard to pull off, considering the kind of security we have at chess tournaments. And this tournament had like a little bit of security. A lot of them, like open tournaments, people are like wandering in and out of the playing hall. There are people in the playing hall, like spectators with their smartphones on and taking pictures or whatever, like going in and out, like they could make signals. It's hard. It's a big problem in chess for sure.
Yeah. So the anal beads thing, for people who don't know what we're talking about, the theory was that he had vibrating anal beads that would somehow or another, through some sort of code, explain to him the moves. And I've thought about this for a lot longer than I care to admit. Like, what kind of code are you getting from inside your butt that you're like, okay, I got it?
Well, it would be like, C4 or whatever. Like, it could tell you by...
How would it say it in your butt, though?
Well, I mean...
It's Morse code?
I'd have to show you.
Luckily, I brought one.
Yeah. I have some in right now. No, it would be like, it would buzz, right? It would buzz the letters and then the numbers that would indicate where you would move, and there would only be a piece or two.
So, like, the first three vibrations would be letter C, and then, yeah, okay.
It's just a sort of technological version of ways people have cheated before. There was a scandal back in 2010 where the captain of the French team was helping one of the French players by cheating. He was basically just standing in certain spots around the table to tell him where to move.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow. Dirty people out there.
It's wild.
Well, it's such a competitive thing. Whenever you have competitive things, you always have people that just want to win at any cost, right?
Yeah, it's also funny that one of his teammates from that tournament worked with me for a long time, and he told me this guy was like going out every night, not taking the tournament seriously at all. But he had a good reason. Like, he knew he was gonna.
He's partying.
He knew he was gonna win.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So is that the most egregious form of cheating that you've ever seen or heard of?
No, I actually played an open tournament in Denmark about 20 years ago, where there was a guy who was playing Grandmaster in the first round. Like, this was not a very good player, and he came drunk to the table and just literally pulled out his phone and opened a chess program. But of course, like, he was immediately so that wasn't, of course, nearly as nefarious. But yeah.